Hey guys, I'm talking about commodity fragrances today. It's a deep dive video, 30 fragrances. And the reason I'm doing commodity today is because I just got an email from them saying they're raising prices up. So I thought, you know what, I'd warn you guys, if you're a fan of this house and you've been wanting to pick up a bottle, prices are going to go up. And also could do a deep dive and explain to you what the fragrances are all about. I first discovered commodity back in 2013. I was doing videos on another channel. That channel is no longer, by the way, because I've been mentioning it a few times here and there recently. But that channel is no longer, and I started this channel in 2015. So I've been on this channel for 10 years, but I discovered the brand in 2013, and it was running out of LA. So I had ordered a collection. No, I actually ordered a bottle of whiskey. They're very original version of whiskey. And with that, they actually sent me a few discovery sets, and I started exploring the brand. I actually had done a video on the previous channel, but that channel is no longer. And I've been a fan of the brand, but started out in LA. Then I believe management or the company moved to either New York or London. And that was towards the end of the last decade. And then the brand folded. And at that time, they were selling at Sephora. And distributor Euro Perfumes bought the brand and relaunched the brand, like I think in 2021. So now the brand is back. They're also at Sephora. And when they relaunched the brand, they started a collection called the Scent Space Collection. And they released 3 versions of one fragrance. And they have one, which is a minus. Let's say, for example, here, Velvet Minus. So the white bottle is a personal. So if you like fragrances to be personal, you can have that fragrance as a personal fragrance. It doesn't have a lot of projection. It's not a loud fragrance. It's more intimate. It's for you. So they also have the OG, because Velvet came in an OG bottle like this. So they moved several of their fragrances into the Scent Space collection. So the original is Velvet. It's not personal. It's not super loud. It's just right in the middle. And that's the OG fragrance. And if you want it louder, then they also launched a +1 in this kind of copper colored lettering for the bottle, in the black bottle. So this is the Scent Space collection. So the white bottle is personal. It's a bit louder with the original, and then with the copper colored text, it's the most bold and loud experience. So they launched those fragrances, and they vaulted some fragrances. And the only fragrance that they have launched recently, if I can find it, is Juice. And I'm a fan of the brand. I've been a fan since 2013, but Juice was a bit underwhelming for me. And the only Juice I have is the black bottle. I don't have the bold. I don't have the version in the white bottle, which is a more intimate, personal. But that one, unfortunately, has been a bit underwhelming. But they did send that email. It says, we know price updates aren't anyone's favorite news, and you've probably heard enough about the tariffs and rising costs, so we'll keep this short. Our prices are slightly increasing on July 29, by maximum $5. We appreciate your support. And wanted to give you a heads up so you have the chance to stock up and save before the changes go into effect. With gratitude, Viken and the commodity team. So yeah, they are raising prices up, not by a lot, but I think just to help with, stuff that's going on in the world. I have links to the fragrances. There's a 10% discount code. You can take advantage of them if you are in the market for them. But before we get started with the fragrances, let me start the list. I have the list of fragrances written down. It's a recycled piece of paper. What do we have here? Before we get started with the list, let me know, what are your favorite commodity fragrances? When did you discover the collection? Was it during the time when they folded at the end of the last decade? Could have been like just around 2020. I know a lot of folks were buying heavily discounted bottles at, the discount stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and places like that. I think fragrances were selling around $30. And also want to mention, commodity fragrances are not overly expensive. So at one time, they had the Scent Space collection priced separately, and I believe they combined the prices, and I'm not sure if they kept it combined, but again, they are raising prices up. But let me know with a comment if you have a favorite fragrance from the house. Add a comment below. Let's get started with the collection. I've got 30 fragrances here and not much left in this bottle, sadly. I can't remember if I have another bottle, a backup bottle of Bergamot. I probably do, because when commodity came back in 2021, they were doing a clearance sale, and I bought some backup bottles as well. But let's see. Bergamot to me is not your ultimate juicy bergamot. I feel like it's got something grassy in there. I almost feel like there's vetiver in here. But still, it's very fresh, juicy, but mixed with a lot of kind of woods and aromatics and spices. It's almost like it's not the super ripe ripe fruit that provides the like overly fragrant smell. But in the end, if you like the combination of something grassy, woody, definitely try Bergamot from the house of Commodity. But now that I think about it, I don't even know if Bergamot is selling. Is it part of the vaulted fragrances? Or I think they're called, what is it called? Archive. And in this video, I have one Archive fragrance, and I'm going to open up on camera for the first time. I actually got this at their store in New York City. Commodity has a store. And Nectar is one of my all-time favorites from this house. And I haven't opened it up yet, so I'll open it up on camera when we get to Nectar. But next, we're going to talk about BOIS. So BOIS has not been moved into the Scent Space collection. Yeah, I don't know what made them decide to move certain fragrances into the collection, but they did that. And then they vaulted a bunch of stuff. And my favorite has been Whiskey. That's the first one I bought. But Whiskey has been renamed as this. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit. That's towards the end. But BOIS, I'm not too familiar with BOIS. I bought a lot of fragrances highly discounted as well. But BOIS obviously refers to woods. To me, it's almost like, what was I thinking of? Gold. To me, it's kind of similar to Book, that series in the Scent Space collection, which is coming up right after BOIS. It almost smells like cedar, but also like ISOE super. So it smells a bit molecular and musky, but very clean woody. Let me know if you're familiar with BOIS, if you're a fan of it. It's nice. If you like fragrances like Molecule 1, I think you would enjoy that one, which now that I'm thinking about it, we've got Book, Personal, and this one to me is very similar to like fragrances like Eccentric Molecules, Molecule 1. It's quite personal. It's also molecular, musky. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. Book is not similar to BOIS. Book is kind of similar to Santal 33, actually. It's that DNA. And Book is unfortunately not my favorite in the series, and I've got all three of them in the Scent Space collection. But, you know, the reason they make fragrances that smell kind of similar to other fragrances is because they're very, that DNA is very popular. I'm not a fan of Santal 33. This does remind me of Santal 33. It's got that kind of pickle juice vibe, like kind of style. I don't get the pickle juice, but I don't know. I think I can see the pickle juice idea. I'm not getting the pickle juice myself. But the Book Minus is the personal, and then we've got Book, which is the OG. Like, fragrances started off, here's Moss, like this. And then here's Moss when it went into this Scent Space collection. So Book, this is the OG. We've got the minus and we've got the plus. Remember, the plus is the bold, very strong. The minus is the personal. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Book, unfortunately. I think Book has that note, papyrus or cypriol, and combined with sandalwood, I think it's creating that kind of a pickle juice idea. Sadly, it's not my favorite. I don't like it that much, unfortunately. But let me know if you're a fan of it. And here we have a stronger version of it, the Bold. So the Bold got a lot amberier. It's a lot more potent. It's a lot more dense. Yeah, this collection is not my favorite, but I do have a lot of favorites. Like this next one was an early one. This is the only juice I have left. As you can see back here, those bottles currently don't have that on the back. Here's the new version of whiskey. But this is gin. What I liked about gin, I've been mentioning how juniper, uses juniper, gives you that ice cold feeling. And they really did capture that gin effect here. Like juniper, so good. Really great fragrance, actually. There's spices in there. There's aromatics, but it's ice cold. To me, gin also is a bit more like a gin tonic because there's some sweetness in there. Gin tonic's one of my favorite cocktails. I love it. If I'm wanting something refreshing, but with a little bit of a kick of the gin, but some sweetness, I go for that. And this gives me the idea. I don't think gin is selling anymore. And this bottle is from 2013. And it still smells great today. Wow. See, this is a fragrance that I wouldn't call it the deepest fragrance because it's utilizing, top and heart notes more than like base notes. I'm surprised it still stays and smells great the way it smells, which is kind of cool. I like that about it. But I wish they brought gin back. And they have the archive collection, which are in packages like this. And I'll show you the bottle in a little bit. I can't remember if gin is there in the archive collection or not. But I don't know what made them decide to actually discontinue them permanently and bring some into the archive collection. Because I thought that Nectar was one of the more popular ones, but Nectar is in the archive collection, so go figure. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is the Gold series in the Scent Space collection. So Gold came in a bottle like this originally. Then, of course, it went into the Scent Space, and now we have the Minus, which is the lightest, and Gold is their vanilla. But you know what? I have to be honest, I enjoyed Gold in this bottle a little more than in the new collection. I don't know if it got reformulated or not. I can't remember. But I remember Gold was really great when it was here. I think it's still good. And for me, I really like that whole personal styling of the Gold Minus. It's got a smoky vanilla thing, but it's not super loud, and that's what these fragrances are all about. If you are the type that wants fragrances to be closer to the skin, go to Commodity and check out the Scent Space collection and check out the fragrances in the white bottles that have that Minus on them right there. These are personal fragrances. These are fragrances that are not loud. They don't have a lot of projection, not a lot of sillage. People have to get closer to you to smell you. Although I wouldn't say these are like the super skin scenty fragrances, but they're made that way. And actually, I take it back. This Gold Minus smells really great. I don't know, for some reason I'm remembering something wrong. I thought that I preferred Gold in this bottle more, but now that I smelled Gold Minus in the other bottle, it smells really, really fantastic. The vanilla is sweet, but not overly sweet. It's a bit smoky. It's a bit woody. I like that. But let's compare this Gold to this Gold, because this Gold is supposed to be the same as this Gold. Let me know if you're a fan of Gold. Add a comment below. I can't remember who the perfumer for a lot of these fragrances are, unfortunately. I do remember that Velvet is Jerome Epinay. And Milk, which is coming up, is Christelle Laprade, I think. And that is their most popular fragrance, I think. Okay, so Gold in the black bottle, which is supposed to be the same as the OG bottle, which is in the white with the kind of copper-colored or gold-colored text. Yeah, it is a little different. I don't know if it got reformulated or not. I feel like the gold in the white bottle it's a bit louder. The gold in the tall bottle with the white text, black bottle, white text, is a bit more subdued and less gourmand. Interesting. I've never compared them because I had always had the bottles separate, but now that I'm comparing them, I did notice that difference. But to me, I feel like the gold minus is a bit closer to the gold in the OG bottle. Go figure that out. And then we have the gold plus, which is the bold. Gold bold, or bold gold. Yeah, this is the sweetest fragrance in the collection. Ooh, okay. It's gotten ambery. Oh, I like this one, actually. It's gotten ambery and smoky. That's really yummy. So it's interesting. I don't care for the middle one, the regular one. I love the minus, which has got a kind of brightness about it, but more closer to the skin, obviously. And here with the plus, it's darker, it's smokier, it's amberier, it's more resinous. That stuff is good. Yum. All right, so we've done the gold collection of fragrances. I hope none of these fall. Let's try Juice. So Juice, I only have the OG. So I had high expectations for this fragrance, but unfortunately, it's called Juice. I don't get a very juicy experience. It's dry. I get more juicy experience with Nectar than I get with Juice. Now, I only have the OG, not the minus or the plus, not the bold or the personal. I wonder if those two are juicier, but I've sampled them and I didn't experience that. I did enjoy the plus because I feel like there was patchouli in it and they brought out the patchouli in that, made it a lot more darker and more bold and, earthy. But Juice is not that juicy. Also, maybe because I'm not a big fan of berries in fragrances. This smells like berries to me. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts. Add a comment below. Should I try the minus and the plus again? I don't have bottles of those. But here, next, is a fragrance that's discontinued, I believe. It's Leather. So I believe this is created by Rodrigo Flores Rue. This also reminds me of his creations for John Varvatos. Is it Rebel Rider or Dark Rebel Rider? One of those two fragrances. And I believe the one with the leather on it is the one it reminded me of. Because this is leather. It smells just like that, actually. It's a bit animalic. And although I think this is a little better than the John Varvatos, I still have my bottle. The one I liked of the Rebel Rider is the original, which had a bit of a reminder of Plum Japonais. But going back to this is quite animalic for mass market niche brand. I think it's nicely done. Are you guys familiar with this? Let me know your thoughts. Add a comment below. I like that. It's bold, it's dark, it's smoky, it's animalic. You can smell a bit of animal in there, even though, it's leather, the skin of the animal. So let's see if I'm going correct here. So we did leather. Here's the list. We are up to milk next. So we've got three different, sadly, I don't have the bold in milk. I've used it up. I love that fragrance. I've used quite a bit of that up. So my favorite fragrance in this series, part of the Scent Space collection, is Milk. Milk is awesome. And Milk is created by Christelle Laprat. I think that's how you say her name. And then you've got a really great, once again, awesome, minus, which is this, Milk Minus. And then you also have a great bold, and I love the bold because they took the lactonic milkiness to more of a darker, bolder place. I think the OG is nice too, but I don't know. For some reason, in this collection with the Scent Space fragrances, I'm preferring either the minus or the plus more than the original fragrances. Here, it's lactonic, it's milky, it's musky and fluffy, but it's also not projecting a lot, you know? So this goes on skin. It's very, very soothing. It's very, very comforting. You know, milk is a very comforting note for me. And you got that here, but it's not super strong, you know? It's not super intense. It's just nice. And it creates a nice, cozy, fluffy, personal scent. Slightly sweet, but musky as well. I love that. It's really nice. Sadly, I don't have that Milk Plus, unfortunately, but we do have the regular milk, which it's good. It's not my favorite. I love the Bold Plus. I mean, the Milk Plus. I feel like the Milk OG is a bit more woody. And I think the woods are taking over the milkiness a little bit. I got a little more milk with the minus in comparison to the OG milk. And I think when they launched the Scent Space collection is when they introduced milk. Is that correct? I think milk is a fairly new fragrance within the last 4 years. And I think it's done nicely. But again, I prefer the plus. And I prefer the minus over the OG. But let me know your thoughts. Are you a fan of the OG milk? Add a comment below so I can find out. Yeah, the milk minus is nice. I wish I had the bold version of Milk Plus. I don't have it, sadly. But next we're going to the Moss series. And this is one of my favorites in the collection as well. It's a green leaning fragrance. And even though they mention moss is, you know, like oak moss. I think the notes that's running the show here a little bit more than the moss is, I think, petitgrain. So I have the OG before it went into the Scent Space collection. And then I've got Moss Minus. I've got the OG here in the tall bottle. And then I also have the Moss Plus. So let's start off with the OG here. I've never compared these to the tall bottles. But I love this fragrance. I love green fragrances, and it's super green and mossy and also citrusy. And they're using the citruses. I think there's also bergamot in here. In this case, I prefer the tall bottle moss. I don't know, maybe it smells a bit fresher. Maybe my bottle has turned a little bit in the... Not really. Now that I think about it, I take that back. There's a bit of a brightness in the OG bottle. And what I'm getting is that petitgrain note, the leaves of the bitter orange tree. Super awesome. So that is the OG. Let's try the minus, the personal one. Out of the Scent Space collection fragrances, guys, which concentration? I guess these are not really concentrations. See, I didn't show you guys this. Here's what it says for the personal. For me and the few I allow close. So that is the personal version. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly how to treat these fragrances. They don't have concentrations, but the Scent Space, the minus is the personal ones. These are the ones that only people that are close to you are going to smell you, or you're going to smell you, but not a lot of people from far away. You wouldn't wear these to leave a trail down the hall, to leave your scent in the elevator. That's not what these fragrances are for. Let me show you what it says on the regular Scent Space. This is the Expressive, which it says, for me and the many around me. And then finally with the bold, for me and everyone else. So let's try the bold. I love the bold and the moss. Once again, I think I prefer the minus and the plus. I love it. It's so good. And this one also, it's a bit more mossy, and I like that. It faintly, very, very faintly hints at the mossiness of Mousse Illuminée from the house of Rogue Perfumery. But this is the bold plus. I mean, the plus, the moss plus, not the other ones. And then also it's so green because of the petitgrain note. I love that. I love that kind of astringent, bitter greenness and the mossiness together. That stuff is awesome. Really, really great. And also Milk Plus is my favorite, but sadly, as I said, I'm all out of stock on that one. I'll have to get another one. But both of those, Milk Plus and Moss Plus, are so, so good. But next, we are over at the Nectar section, which I'm going to talk to you about this, and then I'm going to open up that package. Nectar has been one of my favorites from this house. I don't understand why they archived it. Does it just not sell? I don't know. Is it? I don't get why they do that. I mean, when I spoke about this one, people would react and say how great it is. So good. So, so good. So I thought I made a mistake in another video. I said there was honeysuckle in this, which is actually coming up. It's not. No, I'm sorry. I said there was freesia in this. It's actually honeysuckle. So in a video coming on Saturday, I made the mistake and said honeysuckle. It's freesia. I'm sorry. It's not freesia. It's honeysuckle. But it's a lot of Nerolian orange blossom with, I believe, tangerine or clementine. Super awesome. It does remind me a little bit of Jo Malone's orange blossom fragrance, but this is a lot more substantial. So good. It's the combination of citrus flowers, the juiciness of the citruses, and additional flowers together. It smells like bees flying around these flowers and trying to get nectar, and it's totally, totally appropriately named. So good. Let's go ahead and open up this. So this is how the Nectar archive comes. And I've had this since December of last year. I haven't opened it. So it's in a different kind of bottle. And those of you that have been to the New York store, commodity store, go check it out. I posted about it, but here goes. So that's what's inside. I'm gonna make sure not that drop that. So, okay, Commodity Editions, an ongoing collection in which fragrances from our past, present, and future converge. Original formulas from the archives, remastered versions of old favorites, retirees from scent space, and unique collaborations make up the origins of these modern American fragrances. So that's what it says on the back on this side. So let's see how this is going to be. Am I going to have a challenge? I should have brought my... No, I think it'll be fine. It's got a little tape here, and I'll use my... I need something, but let's see. I got it. All right. Okay. Oh. Whoa, okay. So look at this. So that's the bottle. There's a sprayer. I believe that's a funnel that just fell. And there's the 10 ml or whatever that size is. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so yeah, that is a funnel. So that is the bottle. The table is pretty full, but you know, I didn't empty out the back part of the table, sadly. So this is not full of juice. Yeah, that's empty. So this is for me to carry around if I want to decant it in there. And how many mils is this? It's 100 ml. That looks kind of bigger, but I think there's glass right down here. I kind of like this. It's a bit like an apothecary type bottle. I like that. All right, let's try that. I don't even think, yeah, I did spray Nectar. Yeah. So let's try Nectar in this new archive edition. This is a fragrance created by Matthew Nardin. I do enjoy his creations, by the way. He's done some great boozy fragrances. Ooh, I like the sprayer. Yeah, it's very similar. It's actually identical. Love that. Totally. Let me just compare. Yep. It's the same fragrance. Super awesome. The last time I checked their website, it did say it wasn't available, which is a bummer, but they had, you know, the space for the product on their website. So is it like availability is at certain times? I don't know how this archive collection works, but it's a bummer. They need to move that into the Scent Space collection and come up with a minus and a plus. Come on, bring that. Now, before I move on with the next fragrances, I do want to say there are a few fragrances that I did not find that I have. I might have stored them away somewhere else, which is a bummer. But unfortunately, I don't have every single fragrance that I own from Commodity. Like one of them, from what I remember, is Oris. I don't know where it went. And I love that fragrance. Oris is awesome. But I don't know where it sadly went. It's like stored away somewhere. I also had some mini bottles of wool. I don't know where that is. But also, as I was going through the list, I didn't know they had a fragrance called Pinot, P-I-N-O-T. Is that for wine? Also, I did not know that they had although I think I did know they had a fragrance around ivy. Hopefully they'll bring those back. I can only wish. But let's move on to the 3 paper fragrances. And paper is the one that I thought was going... No, actually, I thought Book was going to remind me of Bois. But Book turned out to be totally like Santal 33. But paper to me is more like Bois. And it's got that whole molecular thing happening. There's a lot of ISOE super here. Paper Minus is great. It's like a Molecule 1. And it's a skin scent, so it's a personal fragrance. And if you like Molecule 1 and you want to, you know, try something different, Paper Minus is the one for you to try. Yeah, it smells like Molecule 1 to me. It's clean and musky. It's a bit laundry-like, but very woody. But certainly, it's a fragrance that would sit close to your skin. I like that a lot. It's a good collection, but my favorites are Milk Plus, then Nectar, of course, Moss Plus. So let's try the Paper OG. So we're going from lightest to the strongest. Yeah, this is a bit stronger. Once you smell it, it's deeper than the kind of the I would say ethereal or like transparent kind of additions of the Minus fragrances. But there's a depth about this. So I think the OG might be closer to acting more like Molecule 1 rather than the Minus. But it's a toss-up between the two. Because Molecule 1 is an eau de parfum. And for me, Paper in this bottle, without the Minus, is acting a bit more closer to acting like Molecule 1 in the OG bottle. So then we have Paper Plus, which is the darkest, the strongest. Yeah, this one you can tell it's got a lot more deeper. It's intense. There's a lot of depth there. So if you like that whole DNA, the kind of cedar woody, although I feel like I get amber here and a lot more deeper woods. So it's a lot deeper. If you like that DNA, I think Paper is the collection you want to go with, not Book. Book to me, if you're not a fan of Santal 33, stay away from Book. I don't care for it whatsoever. But I love the collection, Paper collection. So super nice. So here's a fragrance that is also featured in a video that's coming on Saturday. I've got Nectar and Rain in that video. It's a super long video around fresh fragrances. And to me, Rain is an awesome example of an aquatic fragrance. I can't remember if Rain is in the archive collection. I hope it is, because I don't think it's regularly selling now. And it's, like I said, it's a fine example of an aquatic fragrance utilizing floral notes that are aquatic, like water lily lotus. So when you wear this, you experience a watery fragrance. So it's fresh, luscious, dewy, rainy. Yeah, it's called Rain. In the back, there's the light flowers, and of course they're like water lily lotus type flowers in here, and there's some light greens in there as well. But it's damp. It's quite damp. It's a bit cold. It just smells like it's been rained on recently on some flowers, and you're smelling them, because I like to smell flowers with rain on them. They do have a different smell, you know. Ones that have been baking under the sun and the same flower with rain on it, they smell completely different, and this is totally rained on flowers. So good. It's a great fragrance, but sadly, I don't think it's around anymore. And then this one, I only have a little bit left. One of the older OG bottles. This is Tea. Let's see. Look at the logo on here, the OG logo. The new fragrances do not have that logo. This was one of my favorite tea fragrances for a long time. Gosh, my cap is so sticky and grimy. Ugh, I gotta get a new cap or something. Yeah, I've had this for many years. Hopefully it still smells good. No, it doesn't. Oh God, it's turned for sure. So when fragrances turn, it's usually the top notes that turn. Those are the most fragile notes. So this is a fresh fragrance mostly, although now I'm smelling the tea, which is awesome, by the way. But whatever fresh notes were on top are what's turned. And you're going to smell that first. And then eventually the fragrance, develops into smelling like what it's supposed to smell like. And hopefully it's not fragile notes. Because if it's a fresh fragrance and it's all citruses, and you're in the market to buy some vintage fragrances that are citruses, I would stay away from those unless you can get your nose on it prior. But this is turned, but it's turning into the fragrance I remember. It's definitely, slightly spicy, a bit aromatic, and very lightly sweetened tea. Really super awesome. I enjoyed that. But there's also this grassiness there, and usually I get this from tea. Tea and mate and those kind of fragrances, you can kind of smell the dried herbs grassiness in there, which I'm getting here. It's a great scent. Sadly, I think it's discontinued, but at one time that was quite awesome. I wish I made a little bit more room on my table here. But after tea, we're going to TONKA. Okay, this fragrance, man, this was a great alternative to Fève Delicious. This fragrance got discontinued before Fève Delicious got discontinued. If you're in the market for a Fève Delicious alternative or a TONKA alternative, there's a new fragrance from the house of Athena. It's called TONKA Noir. I believe that is so close to Fève Delicious. If you're in the market for one, get that fragrance. It's like 100 ml for $65. But oh my God, this smells so good. So I always felt like this version of TONKA by Commodity was maybe a bit more lavender forward, because Fève Delicious does have lavender. And I pick up a little bit more lavender here, and it's a bit less gourmand, but more, still a lot of TONKA. But it's a shame this got discontinued, and the rumor was that Fève D was going to get discontinued. This got discontinued faster or before, because when the brand relaunched in like 2021, the brand discontinued a bunch of their older fragrances, and they wanted to rebrand and redevelop and things like that. So unfortunately, this is gone. I hope they bring it back, at least in the archive collection. Now that FevD is gone, we need this fragrance. Come on. Or you can always go and take advantage of that Tonka Noir from Athena. So that's that. And then we've got Velvet, the trio of Velvet fragrances. I've got the OG right here. And then we've got the minus, the regular, which is expressive. The minus is personal. And then Velvet Plus is the bold. So let's try the personal first. This, I believe, is a Jerome Epinay creation. Jerome Epinay is a perfumer for a lot of Byredo and Wilhelm Parfumerie fragrances. This also reminds me a little bit of By the Fireplace. It's got a bit of that kind of smoky sweetness, and it gives me a little bit of chestnut vibe. But here with the personal, it's kind of light, and again, ethereal comes to mind. Transparent. It's not so dense. It's not so thick. But you get that reminder of By the Fireplace with it. Then we've got in the black bottle. So this would be the comparison of By the Fireplace in the black bottle. And here it reminds me a little bit more. So I think this is a bit gourmand-esque, but it's not like your super sugary, sweet kind of gourmand. I believe it's vanillic. It's a bit smoky. It really does remind me of By the Fireplace, but it's not identical, you know? I'm not 100% sure if I love this fragrance or not. I kind of prefer By the Fireplace more, but once again, I also prefer the bold version of Velvet, Velvet Plus. Yeah, it's deeper, darker, smokier, amberier. Let me know if you're a fan of Velvet. So 2-3 years ago when I was talking a lot about commodity fragrances, I was preferring Velvet more than Gold. I now prefer Gold now that I'm doing this video and talking about these fragrances. I prefer Gold a little more today than I'm preferring Velvet. Let me know, which do you prefer, Velvet or Gold? Add a comment below. And then we've got VETIVER. So VETIVER came in a bottle like this before. I ran out of that, or I don't know, I lost it or something. I can't remember what happened to it, but this is the new bottle. But this, I don't think is around anymore either. Is it? I didn't really investigate the commodity website. It's a good vetiver. It's clean, it's grassy, it's a bit citrusy, and I feel like, I always felt like there was vetiver in Bergamot. I think these two are perfectly layerable. If you have both of those bottles, they would complement one another. I feel like you can boost up vetiver with some freshness of the citrus, bergamot in that, and then actually thicken up the bergamot with a bit more vetiver. But it's a good vetiver. It's fresh. Can't remember who the perfumer on that one was. And then last but not least, we've got whiskey. My very, very first purchase from Commodity, and there's that logo again. So again, as I was saying earlier, this brand started out in Los Angeles. They were running out of LA, and I communicated with them when I bought my whiskey, and I got a discovery set. I think at that time, they had two types of discovery sets. One was targeted feminine with the white bottles, and then the dark bottles were more masculine. I think that's what they were doing at that time. And I actually did a video overview on the discovery set, but sadly that video is no longer. Anyway, let's try the OG that I have. I think this is a little turned, sadly. Not as much as tea, and it's really quick. What I like about whiskey is it doesn't really smell too boozy. It's more aromatic, spicy, and woody, if that makes sense. So they've kind of interpreted their own smell of whiskey, maybe slight booziness with booze, but there's also the spices that go into it, and then the woods that the spirit is aging in. Okay, same fragrance. Love that fragrance. Again, not uber boozy, but the idea is there. It's super aromatic and spicy, and there's some light sweetness there. And of course, it's lots of woods. It's such a great release. Definitely one of my favorites from this house, Whiskey. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. So to kind of like wrap up here, because that's the last fragrance I'm talking about. I love Whiskey, guys. I love that fragrance. It was the first fragrance, and it was actually a blind buy. It takes me back. Totally takes me back. Like in 2013 when I actually had taken my bottle and my discovery set visiting family, and I shot a video at my mom's house of all places. Wish I can dig up that video and see if I can, although they're all stored on hard drives. Yeah, so Whiskey is definitely a favorite. I don't have Milk Plus here. That's also a favorite. Moss Plus is a favorite. Nectarine is a favorite. I'm sorry, not Nectarine. Nectar is a favorite. I would say Gold is also a favorite today. I liked it. Tonka for sure, but Tonka, I think I don't know what the status is. Is it back? Is it archived? I need to get my nose on Juice Plus, the Juice Bold. Let's see, what am I missing? Definitely not a fan of, what is it called? Book. Book is the worst, I think, I don't care for it at all. Velvet, I'm a little tired of lately. I don't know why. And Leather is good too. Leather is good. The Vetiver is good. I think it's a pretty solid collection of fragrances. They're not overly expensive. They're also selling at Sephora. And again, I have links to the commodity website, and there's a 10% discount code. Again, if you are, let me fold over this so I don't show personal information, but I got an email and it said, they're raising the prices up. So if you're in the market for any of these fragrances and you've been wanting them before the price, increase happens, it's just around $5, it says. I mean, it's not that much, but still, it's $5 less you'll be paying plus 10% discount. So take advantage of them. And in the meantime, let me know your favorite fragrances from Commodity. Add a comment below. And if you have a top 5, what is it? Add your comment and let me know. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And click the bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos. And of course, please thumbs up this video so it'll help with the algorithm. And see you guys later. Oh, and also stick around on Saturday for a very long form deep dive video on fresh fragrances. And that video will feature 2 commodity fragrances, Nectar and Rain. See you later. Bye-bye.